What's up, everybody? We are talking Stranger Things Season 4. I have just watched episode 5, so I have 2 episodes left in Volume 1. Most of you have already seen all 7, so that's fantastic. So let's go ahead and talk about the episode. It starts with a really intense opening scene as Mike and Will are trying to save the life of the agent who is protecting them. We don't necessarily care about the agent because we just don't know that much about them. But the editing of the sequence is really intense. It's really dramatic. It makes us more engaged in what's happening to the characters. So it's worth mentioning real quick that the editing this season has been phenomenal. The way that they incorporate sound effects and music and practical effects, like in this opening scene, you can't help but notice that they are just killing it this season. We also learn in the beginning of this episode that Dr. Brenner is still alive. We thought for a while that he had died a long time ago, but Eleven learns that he is going to help her get her powers back, but the odds are that he has a secret plan up his sleeve. So with Dr. Brenner and Dr. Owens back in the picture, and Eleven is now going through these tests that put her back in the lab that we saw her back in season 1, and Millie Bobby Brown, who plays Eleven, she absolutely sells the terror of being back in the labs like we saw in season 1. So it really does feel like we're back in season 1 again with Dr. Brenner, Dr. Owens, Eleven in the scrubs, or not the scrubs. What do they call that? The gown that the patients wear. You kind of feel a little bit of nostalgia seeing all these pieces come together again, and it's just really cool scene. In Russia, things start to slow down as Hopper and Enzo are now in jail together. We do get some nice character development out of Hopper, though, as we start to learn some of his thoughts and feelings about what has been happening in this season. He shares that he still feels guilt for losing his daughter, which we kind of knew about back in the earlier seasons of the show, but now there's kind of a newer element to it where he feels the same way about putting Joyce in danger now. There's actually an interesting line that he says, and I don't know it verbatim, but essentially he says that at one point he felt like he was cursed because of all these bad things happening around him. But now he believes that he is a curse to those around him. And it's an interesting point because that word curse has really been coming up a lot this season. The use of curse and demons and magic. There's sort of like this spiritual gloom that is surrounding this season of Stranger Things. It's just something that I've been noticing, and I'm sure that the rest of the season, that sort of theme is going to continue. Now, in Alaska, Joyce and Murray are once again providing some comic relief for this season. They decide to hijack the plane from Yuri, but the humor really comes in as Murray tries to use some of his martial arts skills, or lack thereof, to fight Yuri. The whole sequence is really over the top. They're fighting in the plane, and the plane is just kind of like going up and down. And you can tell that their storyline is really meant to give us a break from the intense dark drama that's happening in Hawkins. So there's a nice balancing act going on with the writing of the show, and it's providing a nice flow as we get deeper into the plot. Overall, this episode has a lot of slower moments that are being used to develop the characters, and I would consider this an alley-oop episode. What I mean by that is they're using it to set up something big that is going to come in the next 2 episodes. Kind of how the last episode was really intense, really dramatic. This episode is sort of a slower moment that I think is really going to build into something awesome for the end of Volume 1. So, I'm looking forward to that. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on the season so far. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.